Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anne and I run this YouTube channel, and I also run the Sussex Handmade Soap Company, which is a small bath and body business based in the southeast of the UK. And today we are creating a natural vegan soap. We are going to colour it with red clay, decorate with orange peel and some activated charcoal, and scent it using orange, cedarwood and lavender essential oils. If you want to have a go at making this soap yourself, the recipe is down in the description, so you can find the amounts down there. That is for a £5 loaf mould that I'm using today. If you've got a smaller one, you can just kind of adjust the amounts as and how you need to. And this soap does form part of our monthly soap release. On the last Sunday of every month, we do release the soaps that we have made on YouTube over the previous 4 weeks for sale, and we sell them at £3. So if you fancy grabbing yourself one of the soaps you have seen being made today or any of the other 4 weeks in this month, then go to our website at 5:30 last Sunday of the month and they will be up for sale there and then, and you can choose one, two, as many or as few as you wish. Right, first step today is going to be melting our solid oils. Our solid oils here are coconut oil and shea butter. So I will transfer them into my silver pan and I will take them over and melt them. My lye is already cooling down. I've already mixed up my lye water. If you want to know how to do that, follow the link here for my video on creating your lye water. Right. Let's melt these, clear the table and get to making the soap. So our solid oils have melted and I'm going to go ahead and add in our liquid oils now. As I said, these were sweet almond, castor and olive oil. Scraping out the jug to make sure I get every last drop of that oil down into our pan. And because all of our soap is going to be the same colour, what I can actually also do is add in our red clay. And I love it when I can add the clay into the oil before the lye water goes in, because it gives a chance to really get it mixed in nicely. Unfortunately, when I am splitting batter and colouring different portions different colours, it's not always possible to add the clay before the lye. But when I can, because I'm doing a single colour soap, that is definitely my preference. So I'm going to work the clay in. And I think what I'm actually going to do is give it a little whiz with the stick blender. I do find that the stick blender does work the clays in really well, really nicely. So quite a nice consistent brick red colour in our oil now. So I'm just going to scrape off the blender and then we're going to pull in our lye water and we are going to bring our soap or bring our batter to a light to medium trace today. So because I have now got my lye close by, I've got my gloves on, my goggles on, my hair is tied up, I've got my long sleeves and my closed-toed shoes. The last thing I want to do before we actually start bringing the soap to a trace, adding the lye water, is check our temperatures. And today we are working at a temperature of around about 105, roughly, very roughly. This is registering at 107.6, that'll do fine. And our lye water, 107.8, so perfect. So I'm now going to go into the oils with the lye water. And as I said, we're going to bring it to a light trace using the stick blender. All right. Now we have achieved a nice light trace, so we are going to go in with our essential oil blend, which today is orange, cedarwood and lavender. I'm going to mix this in well. So stirring in that essential oil blend now, and it's a really lovely smell. I know some people don't like lavender and may be put off by the fact that it is in here. Wayne absolutely hates lavender, but he loves this scent. The lavender is not overpowering. It is not gonna smack you in the face. kind of just adds to the blend and it gives a really nice citrusy scent with a very light floral hit to it. Now we need to split it down into 2 jugs, roughly equal. Our essential oil and everything is in, so it doesn't matter if it's 100% equal or not. I am going to weigh it because I'm a stickler for making things exactly equal, but you don't need to. Up to about 1300. Oh, that'll do. So now that they are within a couple of grams of being equal to each other, I'm going to put 1 jug to the side just for the time being. Then I'm going to use our stick blender to thicken up the first portion here to a medium kind of trace. At the minute we are kind of light to medium. I want it just a little bit thicker for pouring into that mould. So I've now achieved that quite nice medium to thick trace, to be honest. We're going to pull in our mould, and all I'm going to do is tip our first portion of soap down into our mould. And we will give it a little shake from side to side and a tap down. And now I want to wait until it is firm enough to be able to hold a little bit of texture in the middle, which is why I wanted it thick. If I did it really thin, it would take forever to get to a level where we could texture at the middle. Should be a couple of minutes and then we should be able to come back and texture it. It's starting to already kind of hold a certain amount of shape, so shouldn't be long at all. We'll come back and texture. Right, so we are now going to take the back of the teaspoon and we're just going to create a little bit of texture in this layer just by kind of sweeping up and down and around with the spoon. Kind of do it however you want. Make it as textured or as flat as you want, really. I mean, you don't even have to do this. I just think it adds a nice kind of bit of variation. There we go, that will do. Let's pop that to one side now. And now we're going to get even messier. We have got our activated charcoal and our little, I don't know what this is called, strainer? I suppose it's a tea strainer, isn't it, or something like that. Anyway, our little thing that we're going to put our powder in, and it's going to make it all come out nice. That's such a rubbish description. Never mind. Right, we are going to do a pencil line with some activated charcoal. I am going to fill this up by kind of swooping in. Oh, well, that's gone everywhere, hasn't it, already? Oh. Right, I'm just going to pull my sleeve up just while I get it into here. I think I'm just going to have to face it. It's going to be messy. Right, we can clean afterwards, can't we? Cleaning's always possible. Right, sleeve down again. Ooh. And now I'm going to gently shake this over our soap. And with pencil lines, you only want them to be very, very thin. You literally want to just cover the batter. If they are too thick, then you will find, or you may find, when you cut your soap, the 2 layers don't adhere to each other. So you might find you've done a lovely soap, beautiful pencil line, chop it up, and the top and the bottom fall apart because the pencil line is too thick and it hasn't allowed the soap batter to adhere to itself. So literally just until the layer is gently covered. I think I'm going to do a slight bit more there. And I often think if you can see the powder getting a little bit damp, a little bit wet, if you like, that is a good sign that your next layer of soap is going to be okay and that you haven't gone too thick. Yeah, that is looking good to me. Right, let's get rid of this. Actually, I'll just, oh, it's so messy. Now it's even messier. That's what I was trying to avoid. You guys know me, I'm like the messiest soaper in the world. Right, okay, we've still got our reserved portion of batter just here. And because of the time we have taken with waiting for this to firm up, the batter is now at a relatively thick trace. So we don't need to do any more whizzing with our blender. We can just go ahead and pour over our pencil line to create our second layer of soap. I don't want it to break through the lower layer, so I'm going to pour over my spatula slowly and carefully, working along the soap like that. I think that is now a lovely full soap mould. Lovely. The last thing we've got to do is decorate with our orange peel slices, which are just over here. Try not to put them in any of the messy charcoal patches. And I think we probably are going to need to wait a little while for it to firm up enough to support the weight of the orange slices. But as you can see, I have marked out where each slice of soap is going to be cut, so that I know that the orange peel needs to go in the centre. So we are going to press them down like that, but I've got a feeling if I let go... Oh, actually, do you know what? No, I'm wrong. It has supported itself. A little bit touch and go. I don't think it would take a lot to knock it over, but yeah. Maybe we'll give it a couple of minutes. Actually, no. Do you know what? Let's just be brave. Let's just see if we see if we can get them to all stand up. So I'm going to go in, and all the orange slices rather, there's all different sizes and shapes, so some will be higher, some will be lower. That's kind of the beauty of Handmade. I am just placing a slice down in the centre of each bar. I'm going to work down the mould, doing this for every one. I'm so impatient, I should wait really. There we go. Perfect. Right, I'm going to do this for the other bars, all the other bars now. So just coming to the end of the loaf now. When I've finished placing the orange peel slices, I'm going to put the soap to one side for 24 hours, just so it can firm up and be ready to cut. And then tomorrow I will come back, we will unmould it, chop it up together and see what it looks like. But for now, that's how it's looking. I'll see you tomorrow for the cut. 24 hours later and we are back. Our soap is here. I have already unmoulded it, got it all ready for cutting. I think it looks pretty sweet at the moment, just with those little orange peels. I think the colour of the orange is matching the colour that's coming through from the clay really nicely. But let's get it chopped up. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. I'm really looking forward to seeing this one. Right, let's get the soap cutter. So, soap cutter in. This is the bit where my main camera gets completely obscured with soap cutter. And we rely on this little footage. Right, hoping I have matched up the orange peel pieces nicely. Ooh, that looks about right. I really don't like cutting the loaves this high, as you know. I just find it really tough. I need a box to stand on so I can get some kind of force behind my arm. Do you know what? I meant to cut this one on its side as well, but I forgot. Just purely because of that pencil line. Didn't want to drag it through. Yay! Not looking at that bit. Don't want to see it yet. Right. What does the swirl look like? I hope it looks not a swirl. It's not a swirl, is it? The pencil line. I hope it looks good. Please look good. Oh, nice. Yeah, sweet. Oh, yeah, that's quite sweet. So, hold it there and there. So that is what we have got today. I like the way that the pencil line is not completely straight. That's what we were going for, obviously, with our texturing with the spoon. We've obviously got a partial gel here, so this top bit here where it is a little bit paler just means that it didn't fully go through gel phase. It's purely an aesthetic thing. It doesn't make any difference to the actual soap or how the soap's going to perform. Yeah, but to be honest, it almost looks like I did it intentionally, purely because if you look, the circle of the gel ring is perfectly following the curve of the orange on top, so it almost looks intentional. Wasn't, of course it wasn't intentional. But yeah, in terms of things that are wrong that look like they were, well, not wrong, but things that, you know, you didn't plan for, but look like you did plan for, I would say that's up there. Right, I'm going to take all these off now. And then we shall have a little chat about the soap. So there we go, that is today's soaps. I have got them all chopped up, all laid out. Let me show you, I think it was this one. This was the end of the loaf, so it hasn't gelled at all, but look at that. I really actually like how that looks. It almost looks slightly darker on the bottom and slightly lighter on the top. And that's actually given me an idea for doing something similar with clays or another natural colorant, where we use slightly more in a bottom portion and slightly less in a top portion and just get a very slight colour differentiation, because obviously this has just happened on one bar and it's purely by chance, but I think we should try and do it on purpose. I really like today's soap. The smell is amazing. This has got to be one of my favourite scents, the orange, cedarwood and lavender. It is just a really gorgeous citrusy scent with that very light touch of floral. I'm really happy with the design. Obviously, I'm not going to lie, I would have preferred not to have had the partial gel ring there. Perhaps next time if I was to do it, I would pop it into my heated propagator, which is meant for seeds, but I use it for soap. It fits a soap loaf really nicely. That's heated, and that would probably have helped promote it to gel the whole way through. I do find in curing though that actually often the gel rings fade a little bit, so I'm not overly bothered. But yeah, if I could have it my way, I would have chosen to not have a partial gel ring, but I say, matches the curve of the orange quite well, which is, I suppose, a silver lining. If you enjoy the look of these soaps and would like to get your hands on one, then remember you can at 5:30 p.m. on the last Sunday of the month from our website just here, where we will be selling these soaps and the other ones we have made this month at £3 each. Alternatively, feel free to click like on this video, leave a comment or subscribe to our channel if you are enjoying it. It all does really help. Right, I'm going to go outside now because it is a beautifully sunny day and it looks warm. Have a little bit of a relax, and I hope you guys have a lovely week ahead too. See you next time.